We are live now. Thank you everyone for joining the panel. Really appreciate your time to have this amazing discussion. We're going to talk in detail about a lot of things, but before that, let's have some introductions of who we are, what we do. So I'm just going to go around. If Chris, you want to just start by quick introduction and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. First off, let me just thank Kwalee for putting this event together and the entire team, working behind the scenes to keep it running smooth. A lot of great, information and discussions taking place. So, thanks you guys, and thanks for having us. It's great to be here. Hi, my name's Chris. I've been in the industry about 10 years. I've done UA, mediation, monetization, publishing, now working at Byte-Brew Analytics. I've seen companies through acquisition, through IPO. So it's been a very interesting 10 years. And for everybody's awareness, for those who don't know us, Byte-Brew is an all-in-one analytics and live ops suite of tools for developers built by developers.
Thank you, Chris. Eberhard, do you want to go next?
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to Kwalee for having us today. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Eberhard. I'm the CEO of Golden Whale. My background has been in the business since more than 25 years now. I founded my first gaming company in the 90s. I built my first computer game on Commodore 64, which says a lot about my age, obviously. My technical background is in biotech, where I did early neural networks on biological data, which is very similar to the problem descriptions we have here. And Golden Whale, after all these years in the industries, some of the finest colleagues I had, together with me, founded this company as a combination of gaming infrastructure builders and machine learning people and data analytics people. And what we do is we build decision-making modules for the next generation of gaming infrastructure for very expensive and or very complex problems of the gaming industry.
Okay, thank you. Vera, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Kwalee team for inviting me and holding this event. I'm so thrilled to be here and honored to participate in this discussion with such great experts. As for me, I'm a product owner at Dev2Dev. During my career, I combined roles of product manager and product analyst. I worked with the different types of businesses in different areas and industries, and now I have a good opportunity to use all of this experience for building Dev2Dev, which is an analytical solution that was developed specifically for game developers. So we help them to build better products, to evaluate user behavior, draw conclusion based on the data. So we provide a vast set of tools and reports that helps them to grow the metrics. And our major goal, I would say, is to help our customers get insights from the data quickly, smoothly, effortlessly, and of course, build a better products for them and for users.
Thank you, Vera. Just a quick intro of myself. I'm Mohammed Waqas. I'm a technical product manager at Kwalee, mostly working in mobile publishing department, working on different tools, especially in the new platform that we're working on. And the good thing about this panel is that the topic that we have is very relevant to what you guys have been doing anyway, which is the data science and the AI and mobile gaming. We've been play by numbers. So I just want to set the premise of, so basically it's going to be a very casual discussion. If you have any topics, if you have anything that you want to discuss, you go ahead. I'm going to just raise a few topics that I think we can discuss. But if anyone who wants to jump in has some nice insights to share, you're more than welcome. I'm going to just kick off the conversation by, so obviously we're talking more about mobile games here. And we have seen and in the past few years that the industry has been moving from casual to more towards hybrid casual. So the importance of data has been immense, and all your data-driven decisions are really crucial to make your hybrid games good. So, the topic that I want to discuss is considering the competitive landscape of hybrid mobile gaming. How does data science contribute to the development of targeted mobile campaigns and targeted user analytics, and how it's important for the users and for the mobile developers to have their games targeted to their audience and make it relevant so that their attention goes higher. Anyone who wants to jump in, more than welcome. Chris, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I can get us started. I almost want to zoom out from that question for a minute and almost point out, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, that it almost sounds like the question itself was written by AI, which I think frames the nature of the conversation that we should actually be having. What is the role AI is taking, in the entire life cycle of the development of the game. When it comes to, I think what we're seeing in the market is there's a lot of innovation on the marketing side in AI. I would say more so than on product analytics overall, just in terms of like where it seems investment money is flowing most rapidly right now. There's a lot of people trying to crack the marketing problem and are leveraging AI for that. So I think that's been really interesting to study. I think how it's going to impact user analytics is kind of to be determined. There's more to be done, I think, when it comes to, and more to explore and more conversations to have when it comes to what role is AI going to take when it comes to product analytics. So that's what I want to dig into, I guess, is more that, like, what are we doing with it? What do we plan to do with it? Because it is very, very early stage, very, very early stage. And in particular on the product analytics side, I think Golden Whale is working on some pretty cool stuff. And I think they would agree that it's really just one aspect of AI as a whole that they're deploying to the benefit of product analytics. And there's, the AI we're excited about, this sentient beast, that does things for us, isn't in product analytics yet, not really. And so I'm excited to talk about that.
Yes. You got me triggered immediately. Yeah. So
sorry, I didn't mean to trigger.
No, in a positive way. Positively. Yeah. I'm positively excited. Because I think basically the retention part of the equation we are working on is still very much underserviced. So once the user hits the product, there's a lot of difficult decisions to be done from the game developer side, starting with the onboarding phase and the onboarding phase construction, and then down into the mechanics of the game and the accessory systems around the game itself. So this is a huge beast, as you rightfully said. And it's always a multi-dimensional nonlinear process. And what we see is that there are millions on the table, obviously, in optimization. That are not, the benefits are not raked in anyhow. Wherever we come to, there's tens of percentage of growth lying on the table, quite obviously. And this is a thing that will explode in the next 5 or so years. I'm completely sure, because what Waqas said also is how does the product react to me as a customer? I think in 5 to 10 years, a digital product that does not show any reaction to me as a customer will be an insult to the customer. So there has to be some adaptation going on. And this can only be done on a personalization level that is not achievable done by thinking humans, not done by working humans. So the amount of data that these machines are generating can only be tackled with machine-driven algorithms and mechanisms that do this for us.
Yeah. Just to bring it back to Waqas' question for a second, there's something that you mentioned that I think is a really interesting nugget. But thinking back to, like, okay, so with this shift from hyper to hybrid, as the industry likes to call it, does this data play a more important role? I would counter that. I would say that data was obviously always important. Hyper casual wouldn't have happened if it wasn't data driven. It was, different environment from a data perspective for sure, but it was still very data driven. And this notion that we have to do deeper data dives on larger data sets over longer periods of time is more of a dice being thrown on, like, will this game back out, right? It's like just the buyback window is just that much further out. So the more tools we can confidently approach that destination point, the more that those tools can help us, the better. But the thing that Eberhard mentioned, and I want to shut up in a second so Vera has a chance to jump in, but the thing that Eberhard mentioned was the decisions being made, right? I think that is, like, if we take a more macro perspective as to what AI will become, we've already seen it, like, deployed like without thought on anything marketing related, right? It's just like, whatever, low CPI, I don't care, bring it to me. And we're seeing, I think, some people do interesting things like in the QA world, bug solving, things like that when it comes to the role of AI, and of course analyzing massive data sets, right? I mean, obviously we need AI for that, but I'm really curious as to what will happen when AI is actually making the decisions off of those data sets, right? Everything that we're about to talk about, whether it's, how do you A/B test, how do you personalize, how do you juice one monetization stream over the other, anything, all of that these are just decisions being made, right?
Yeah.
And like, while data can feed those decisions, I don't know that AI can understand what frustration or boredom feels like, which is kind of like you're trying to straddle inside those lines, right? The entire gaming experience. So until a machine can feel those things, what will AI do?
I think what AI has helped us is providing us the direction that we can walk, but it's very difficult, and I don't think it's completely accurate to say that AI will be making decisions, because that's where you take out all the human interactions, and that's where I think it's really important to analyze the data still by different factors. And Vera, if you have, I think you would really want to talk, so if you want to go ahead and add something on this.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that was said, but also I like Waqas that you touched such topic like an acquisition of users, because the market is challenging and we need to grab an attention of users.
Yeah.
And this area is also have a potential. Of course, we have a lot of data in the product around user behavior that we can analyze and we can make decisions, and AI can be really helpful. And we see that it is rapidly coming to our products and helps us a lot, even in optimization of the processes. But also, if we can connect using AI, if we can connect product and acquisition, because we can define some users and some patterns that are highly engaged in our products, that can be a good potential audience, and we can easily use this, not easily now, but in general, we can. I believe we can use this information to bring the same people, such people with a good intention, who can bring us what we want in the product. That's why the link between acquisition and product analysis can be also have a good potential in the future, and AI also can help with that.
Yeah, and with this, I mean, obviously, Chris, you're right. I mean, I had dig into some questions from AI, so now I'm going to be more real.
I knew it. I do it too.
Everyone does it.
Yeah.
So bringing back to ChatGPT, one thing that's really I was looking this OpenAI's recent conference about the text to video model that they have introduced, and then brings back to the question is how big the creative industry is going to be impacted with these tools. And do you think that it's good for the mobile industry to take use of these tools and to engage more into creating text to videos and then making it more better? Is it good for the creative industry in the mobile marketing? I was more touched to that. It's a really nice tool. I've seen that. I've created a few videos of that. I've created, just give it a text that I want cute dog walking on ice, and it's going to give you a 20-40 seconds video, and that's cool. So bringing on, I mean, do you think that creative industry is going to take a hit with that, or they can leverage that and create more interesting creatives?
Should I go ahead this time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will see a decrease in costs for assets and generating all the furniture stuff of games, obviously, which will increase the volume of content churned out immensely. And maybe to tack that onto the last question we discussed, when I'm talking about decision making, it's not that the creativity and the production of content is not still sparked by humans, but it's amplified by this. And then the decisions about what to use next in certain situations and personalized to a very customer. This is something you can then run across ML. So I believe that the output of content will be immense, and there will be even more demand for sorting through this immense output to run into journeys for customers that are ideally fitted to the demand of those people, really down to the very customer. And if this is done right, we are standing in front of an abundance of content, obviously.
Yeah. And bringing on the data overload, like we have loads of data now. Something that I've seen our team digs into a lot of detail into the data. But one thing that really is very curious for me is you have loads and loads of data. What do you think that when you have like tons of data incoming, do you think AI is going to be more efficient finding patterns inside? And if we can we create individual experiences, or are we creating individual experiences? Because what I've seen is like King does that. They target their individual user who's generating the most revenue, and then they target that user, and basically it's the 80-20 rule. 20% of your users are creating 80% of your revenue, right? So when you have data, do you think AI is going to help us to find individual user experience directly on the dashboards from ByteBrew or dev2dev or
I mean, absolutely. That's eventually what will happen, across any platform that, leads the charge on it, right? Whether it's ByteBrew, dev2dev, or whoever rolls out, auto-generated. Basically, what you're talking about is an AI product manager, right?
Yes, exactly.
Who can absorb all the data and be like
AI product analyst.
AI
product analyst.
We don't want to give him the manager title. But so I think like that's what will be expected from the user base, right? It's like what will drive the innovations in AI will be with the demands of those whom are willing to pay to use it more than anything else. So when you look at companies large and small, I mean, I've worked with tiny devs who are like, how do I give my data to ChatGPT and have it tell me what to do, right? That's fundamentally like what the audience wants. They want it to do that for that. So that will happen. The question is like, you mentioned two things in your previous question. What will the impact on the creative industry be? And is it good, right? These are huge words, right? What will the impact be? I mean, can we even possibly foresee the impact? We're like year 2 into the use of ChatGPT. And, I don't know, it's shifted things drastically, right? It's become expected. It's become the norm already. I mean, we're reading like AI emails back and forth to each other at this point, right? It's like the snake is already eating its tail a little bit. So, like ask the question, will there be less layoffs as AI becomes more sophisticated? I don't know, right? Like, yes or no, maybe. Is this a good thing, right? Like, what is the good of deploying the most heightened version of AI, whether it's on marketing and it can analyze every single creative for us and tell us exactly what needs to be generated and served, or whether it's something that can analyze massive data sets and individually pinpoint what will squeeze another IAP out of an individual user based off of a certain configuration of variables. Are any of these things good? I guess it depends.
It depends on the use.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see independent creativity thrive. That's what we're all about at ByteBrew. Will it be that? I don't know.
Yeah, you've basically gave a headline that AI is the reason behind gaming layoffs.
I wouldn't say it's behind it, but I don't think you'll see less layoffs. And are layoffs good or bad? I mean, that's a whole separate question unto itself, right? There's obviously difficult decisions that have to be made all the time.
Yeah,
that's,
definitely.
That's life. That's running a business. But will there be less of them as AI becomes more sophisticated?
Yeah, that's a very, very different discussion that has a lot of different pros and cons.
I would like also to add to the previous question about analyzing data and how AI can help with it. So I would say that some directions of AI were developed quite recently, like ChatGPT. We have it around 2 years, but previously we had machine learning and it was successfully used already. So the simple clustering can maybe answer your question when AI can divide our users into segments. For us, it can be a black box how he does it, but in general, it can work also. Will it make a decision for people? I'm not sure. Maybe it will make the personalization experience for each person. But now I think that people still involved in these processes, but even such simple models like clusterization, like decision trees, can be also helpful for this decision-making process already now. So we can use it now and then change the user experience using this insight that we get. So it's partially already involved in our lives. Actually, in Dev2Dev, we have such feature that creates a cluster of users based on their behavior. So I believe that in the future it will be more accurate and more informative for us. So this is a very potential field.
You touched a bit on user behavior. I want to discuss on that a bit more. I've seen a few models, natural level models that does sentiment analysis, and you create your user interface based on what users feeling, and you generate the same ads and you generate the same IAPs for that user. Do you think AI can create curated interfaces based on sentiment analysis? Is that something that's gonna take off, or it's already taken off? Do you think that's a thing for the next few years?
I don't think I've seen that today, but I think, you know, any degree of personalization is on the roadmap of AI's future, right? I mean, if you look at what is happening on the marketing side, it is quite granular in its analysis and its recommendations, right? So I would expect nothing less to transfer to the product analytics side as you know, investment, you know, deepens into that. And we're seeing a little bit, you know, wrapped around ChatGPT and stuff like that. But again, I think there's so much work to do when it comes to AI's involvement. And yeah, absolutely, Vera, like, you know, types of AI have been deployed for years, right? Machine learning is nothing new. So yeah, I tend to get a little excited on the subject of AI as like a alien being visiting our planet, but it is very much like, you know, a tool that we've used, and it's very valuable to use. Absolutely. So yeah, I would expect it to. I would expect nothing less than like the march forward of AI to eventually personalize, you know, the experience of many things in our entire life, you know, whether it's games, whether it's ads we see on the street. I mean, that could be either dystopian or utopian, we'll see, but you know, absolutely there's that potential for all platforms to drive towards that.
It will be awesome if AI can help us making decision, or it's better to let it make decision for us. But even now, what you made an example of sentiment analysis. I think that NLP models already can help with it. Even ChatGPT, you can upload a lot of text, like from users' feedback, from their comments, from their dialogues in chats in the game, and already have some analysis of their feedback. So
that actually brings up something really interesting that I'm sure we'll circle to, but I read this great article recently about like the sheer volume of private information and company secrets that are being uploaded into these platforms. And you just mentioned it yourself, right? You're like a whole conversation with your customer, upload this and segment it. Like it is very, that's very risky, right? You're just handing over all this stuff to a private company, like not to call out OpenAI, but any company, right? Any third-party platform. So you got to be very careful with, you know, what partners you work with, where data goes, you know, be mindful of, you know, maybe the laws haven't totally caught up. I mean, they almost never do, but they probably will. And, you know, you want to mitigate your risk factors as well. And, you know, going back to this idea of like, is this good? You know, is it easier? Absolutely. Right. Like, and of course, it's the job of platforms like ours to make our lives easier, or make the lives of developers easier so they can focus on being creative. But is there a precipice where like you give up so much of your own creative involvement that, you know, it's so like it's easier without, you know, the person? Sorry, go ahead, Eberhard.
I want to add a bit to that, because if we really focus on is this good, I'm quite strong, have a strong opinion that it is good because it steepens our learning curve. And it gives me more iteration cycles per time unit to be creative. If I have a new idea, if I have a new feature, if I want to test something, I can now hand over the look for the optimal operation point of the new situation in my game economy, in my structure, in my onboarding process to the machine. reap the benefits, the learnings, and then go into the next cycle of iteration. So I think it gets, as a creative person, this is a very exciting time. as I can move on by far quicker than a few years before, as I did only A to B testing. Maybe now we've built machinery to build A to endless tests now, and this is something as a game developer I would embrace immediately.
Absolutely. I think, as we've seen with any like model shift, like even in like music going from physical to digital, it's like there's lower barriers to entry, right? Like I'm not particularly talented at many things. Like I can't code or draw or do anything, but I feel like it's now easier for me to like execute a creative idea in the form of a game. And if AI, what we'd love to see AI do as a part of the Byte Group platform one day is really be that hey, you should split test this, by the way. We've garnered this type of user, this type of experience. You have certain goals that you want to hit, certain KPIs that are necessary. Here's some potential things that you should consider split testing, right? So what I love about what AI is doing is it's saving me from that sort of blank page anxiety, right? Where it's like, I have to write a blog post or, it's like, where do I start? It's like, no, how about you start? And I'm like, okay, that sucks. Let me just take that and fix it. And that's a sweet spot, I feel like.
Yeah, and also prevents you to do the repetitive work as well. That's that is you have to do on and on. AI can just automate that as well. Okay.
Absolutely.
Vera, you want to add something? I saw you. Okay. Let's move on to one more thing that I really want to explore. Again, that's something that I've seen happening and at Kwalee as well. When you are planning your next features for your retention, for increasing your retention, or make money from the game, one thing that you're more pivoted if you have monetization data and you focus on generating revenue, and you add more ends, more RVs, and then basically your retention takes a hit. So how do you, if AI can help finding a balance between making money but keeping the retention so that you have a longer term playability and players are more engaged? How can AI help in that specific dimension as well?
Vera, you want to get us started?
It's the most important issue that every product manager or game designer has.
Yes.
Maybe it's even not connected with AI. We even now we try to do such things, but AI, it's like additional tool that can make this work easier and get us more analysis and fast analysis and some insights that we don't see now. But still, this is the goal: how to keep users and how they push them to the payments. I haven't faced that AI worked with these two tasks, how to balance this. But of course, it can be somehow used because we are waiting a lot from AI in the future. So maybe this one also can be solved, this problem.
I imagine the way, and this is probably like, from your ML experience, Eberhard, probably you'd agree, I don't know, but I imagine the way AI would do that. The way AI as it exists today would solve that problem is they would just test your limit, right? Like, how quickly can I show you ad before you churn? Oh, not that quickly? Okay, let's try a millisecond longer, right? Build a massive data set, massive. That's obviously like, it's gonna take a long time. There's finite users until AI learns how to play games, and we can drive installs to AI. So we don't want to churn everybody in the process of building that data set. So hopefully, it's not so brute force, when it comes to, and we talked about that before, right? Like, can AI learn what it is to feel frustration or what it is to feel boredom? Can we keep them straddled in that difficulty curve through AI? How do we train AI safely to understand, like, without that brute force approach, what it is to fall off either side of that curve, right?
You said safely. That's very important.
Safely, yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, safely with a game developer and studio or publisher's own data, and maintaining ownership of that, and ensuring the privacy of their players. be mindful of impacts to society, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if Eberhard, if you want to touch on that, but I just want to add one thing before you get on is I've seen some creatives, and that's where your safely word, I really want to emphasize on that, because I've seen some ads where I've seen real celebrities who obviously have not consented, but you can see ads who are promoting games. Obviously, they're not real, they're deepfakes. And that's where it comes out that you need to have some control over AI as well. You need to have some laws, but that's a different thing as well. Some laws and regulation around AI. But in keeping the laws and regulations, I think AI can also go in a very, very different direction, which you don't want it to go. You have to make sure that your laws, your overall laws and regulations are in place as well, and your data is properly protected, your identification is properly protected. And that's something that's really important, I think, because I'm seeing these ads. I know they've not consented. I know they're not real people, and I've seen deep fakes, and that's a whole.
But clicks.
For clicks.
You
Yeah.
get those clicks, buddy.
Yeah. I was
crazy.
attracted. I saw that for 4 or 5 seconds. That is that real, but I could see them that's fake, and that's the point. That's what you said, safely, and that's the point of saying safely, right? You have to do it safely. Eberhard, you want to say something about? Go ahead.
Well, it's, I think everything that we just discussed can be done safely. And there will always be misuse with new technology. We are just waiting for the solutions to catch up. Because if I'm using deepfake and faces of famous people, then I would demand from my ad network to have filters going, because this is machine-driven abuse. So I have machine-driven filters necessary to comb through the ads and filter out whatever happens there. I don't think this is rocket science. And for everything that we've been talking about, for optimization of reward systems or optimization of retention being done automatically with machine learning, this can be done without any personal information from our customers. So I'm completely sure we have this, and is safe without personal identifiable information, and the results are still there, very good. So no need for even going there. And the only thing then I have to be is transparent to the customer. Tell the customer what I'm doing, which is already done with players in the market that are doing this in the right way. And I think this will be also something our customers will acquire a taste in. Just click this button and have my product react to me and be personalized to me.
Yeah. That's very right. Obviously, everything has its ups and downs, and it's how you use it. One thing before I'll move on to the next very important thing is live ops. Obviously, it's one thing to make a title and it gets hit, and then keep on earning from your big titles. That's very important as well. I've seen, like, especially Fortnite, they do like these live tournaments. I don't know if you guys are aware, but I've really enjoyed that. How do you think that in terms of not just AI, but data science and then your predictive algorithms, again, that's AI as well, but how do you think that your live ops is going to be optimized and you can keep on earning from your hit titles, and how AI can help in that? That's a broader question, but we can go in deep in that. But live ops is a very important topic that I want to touch as well. Chris, you want to do a bit more?
I mean, yeah, sure. I think, I'm trying to think of something to say other than the things I've already said, which is like similar to any stage we're in. It really is about keeping people in that curve and engaged and monetizing. But if we think about, like, let's say like the utopian version of AI future where, all data feeds an AI intelligence that you can leverage towards the advancement of your game. I mean, not like all data, but you know what I mean? What potential is there? I mean, you talk about Fortnite and concerts and things like that. We've seen news about, I believe it was like Unity partnering with Walmart for IAPs of items, like real world items. So, there's already these conversations like, oh, is like every time I say a product name out loud, I see an Instagram ad for it. Is there a potential where, instead of an Instagram ad, it becomes like a toque, or like a hat I can buy in a game or something like that, right? Like, is there that level of sort of like personalization where it's encompassing not only game data, but the rest of your device data and your behaviors to drive toward. I mean, if we want to get like real moonshot with it, that's potentially, and similar to like a live event or whatever. If it's like a certain segment of users exhibit a certain set of behaviors, share a certain amount of outside of app interests. Can a weekend event, it's like, let's say you're playing a Fortnite game, and a bunch of people you identify as people who love paintball. It's like, oh, well, now there's like a paintball mini game mode going on for the weekend. And there's these battle points that you can win, or it's like, you could potentially spawn events based off of those, extraneous interests. That could be kind of fun to play with. But again, that's like the dark side of that. Oh man, don't even get me started. So I'll pipe down right there.
Anyone else wants to add something to that? And the very interesting thing that I want to discuss, that we all want to know, including me, what I do at Kwalee. So before and after that, we have some questions. So I'll move to that as well. We all have platforms, and ByteBrew, Golden Whale, Dev2Dev, and I'm working on a platform as well. And one thing that really troubled me, that's from my own personal experience, how do we keep on adding features that the market need with the ever-changing market that it already is? It's really important, and it's been a hurdle for me to create an MVP. That's a different thing, but how to keep on adding to your platform in the market that's ever-changing, in a market that's really difficult to understand, in a market that's continuously pivoting to a new direction every month or every year. How do you keep your services up to date as to what the customer needs and what the market needs? It's a very broad question, but
thanks
it's
to
something
your conference, we can be aware of more modern trends and what the industry is going to. So this is one of the ways, just to follow the trends, to be aware of user needs, of our customer needs, and help to understand their problems. So maybe it's even not connected with AI, it's just management work. Is how we can get the information about the pain points of our customers and fill the gap, help them to achieve their goals using our products. And if we can get information from different sources like this conference, other similar things, then it's really helpful to hear what people are worried about, what they struggle with, how we can help with it. So for me, it seems the only one way. We need to keep in touch with our customers to know everything about their daily experience. This is the only way how we can improve it. And of course, maybe even dream big, like we did during this discussion. You asked us a question about AI, and some features are not available now, but we see how it's growing, how it's been developing, and we're expecting that soon some tasks will be solved with AI. So all of this information can help us to build to keep building and improving our products, our platforms.
I think too, one thing that's really important, I mean, for, I guess, just advice for you or any other like startup founder who's building their own platform, and having done it a couple of times, is there's a few traps that you can fall into early on that are really critical to avoid. So I think you really want to stay true to your roadmap as designed. I think I've seen a lot of companies sort of be like, oh, so-and-so wants this or so-and-so wants that. Like, definitely take that feedback in, log it, prioritize it as you can. But you have to be very,
focused,
intentional. You have to be very intentional with your resources at every stage of the way, of course. But in the early years, so critical. And yeah, to that too. I mean, one thing that really inspires our product philosophy is looking ahead, which I hope this has helped illuminate, but also zooming out, right? So we talk about like these ever-changing trends and stuff, and yeah, absolutely, like the problem du jour will change, right? Like I'm super excited for GDC to see like what the thing is everyone talks about at GDC. Like last year it was like like it was kind of like there wasn't so much a word as a sound, but the fundamental needs, if you zoom out on that, don't change, right? I mean, we're here to support people who provide entertainment to people. So, whatever we can do to make that creative process easier, and give a developer a smoother workflow, easier access to the data they need, so they make the decisions that they need to develop quality entertainment, is in service of that. And so I personally try not to get too swept up by trends, without, of course, ignoring them completely, which is probably not a good idea.
Yep,
I agree with that. I also double down on what Vera said, that the main driver for us for sure is the experience with the customers, and our feedback loops we have while going through projects. And in the end, for all of us, it's an ongoing build or buy decision, because if you are broader, like what you are doing at Kwalee, I'm sure there's one threshold where you go into ecosystem building, where you then be more like a warehouse of solutions that your developers will be wanting to choose whatever fits their product. So there's a bit of an ecosystem component, and the rest has to be laser focused on demand.
Yeah, that's I really believe on not just creating a product, but an ecosystem where it's not just about you. It's about the industry. It's about helping creating more fun games, and that's what I really believe, that creating the best of the best tech is one point, and you should keep working on that. But you should understand how much the industry has evolved, and if you can get assistance from that, and then build on top of that to help the industry grow more forward. I think that's really crucial. And not just being single-sided, that I just want to do this. Yes, you should definitely focus, but understand what's already being done, and make the industry better, and that's what we're all here for. And with that, we have 4 minutes. I have a few questions from
Let's take some questions.
It's something that we have already covered, but I just still want to. So there's a question from Alicia. And she says that how can AI and machine learning techniques be used to personalize gameplay for individual users? I think we did touch on that.
I think we don't know how. I think it can and maybe should, but doesn't yet. So the how is like TBD.
Yeah, but the one thing to add on that is that there will be a point, and I truly believe that, where your personal user experience will be a big thing for AI, because that's where you're gonna get money. That's where you're gonna get more players to be engaged with their own experience, like Instagram does, like every social media does. Eberhard, you wanna
Yes, I don't think it's completely science fiction. To a certain degree, we are already doing that. Yeah, if you go with a start where you are, use what you have approach. We can use with machine learning. We can use feedback loops we built to optimize the way you use the communication channels towards your customer around the core of the game. So don't be over complex, but don't oversimplify, and talk to the customer in an optimized way. We received monetization uplifts over 30% with just this approach, and we just shown in a case study that we can outgrow a BI and CRM driven operation with 100% plus over a year, just using machine learning reinforcement based structures that learn with the way customers use your product. So this is already happening. There's certain companies in the market already learning at this rate.
Yeah, that's basically summarizes this. Next question, this should sum up, and it's a very good question. It's from a new developer who's just in the industry. What he says, his name is very difficult to pronounce, but I think it's Dürrschmid. I think so. Well, what they're saying is that, pardon me, please, I'm new to this. How does data analytics work in games development and our user experience? That the questions would be how the young exactly. But how the young developer who are just starting game development, how can they leverage AI and data science? I think that should be a good note to end. How can they benefit from AI, from machine learning, from data science? How can they simplify their journey of game development? Or is it too soon for them? Should they just stick to the basics and then adapt AI?
I mean, yes. I think like if you're a solo developer, you're brand new to games, maybe the first thing that it might not be like top of your list to be like, okay, how do I become a data scientist? Like probably you want to work on like just prototyping games that feel good to play, that you enjoy. Should really be like kind of the first thing. I think becoming familiar and comfortable with, what critical KPIs are at certain stages of testing is going to be like the first thing from a data perspective to dig into. But then really take that, and maybe leverage AI for this to a certain degree if you can. But take a very like inquisitive view on that data, right? Why are you getting a tutorial complete of XYZ? Why is my level 10 only XYZ? Why is my day 1 this? Why is my day 3 that? Really understand what the player of the game is doing. And so, find tools that are not too cumbersome, lightweight, work with teams that can help you understand that kind of stuff, so that you can, get a feel for it, without it being, without overly complicating things for yourself. Until you have, the data sets themselves that are required to benefit from those larger scale tools, right? In machine learning, I imagine, and I'm not a data scientist, so I don't, please correct me if I'm wrong, Eberhard, but I believe machine learning requires large sums of data that small games that are in prototyping phase and things like that don't necessarily have.
Yeah, it's a crucial thing. We should remember that a good AI requires a lot of resources, a lot of information.
A lot of trainings,
Yeah. So when the project is small, it may be very tricky. To apply this machine learning when you don't have enough data.
Yes, you have to. We always have to look for a sweet spot between model complexity and accuracy of outcome. If you want to run your operational predictions, it doesn't even have to be machine learning. It can also be a statistical method to begin with. And once you get more data and it's getting more complex, then you have to have model orchestration in check to simply go to more detailed models if need be.
That's really crucial, and a very good note to sum up that it's not always AI. It's basic stats. If you have small set of data, take decision, get data, train your model, get predictive analysis, in short. Thank you so much, everyone. We just run out of time. It's been really great. I learned myself as well. I hope everyone enjoyed the panel. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll reach out to you for any feedback. But thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.